Hello and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I'm James Currie with the Communication Department. I'm talking to Anthony Widner. He is our lead outreach educator here at MCHD. Anthony, how are you?
I'm good. How are you today, James?
I'm well, thank you. Now we're talking here, and this is April, the month of April. Earth Day takes place in this month. But before we get to that, let's talk about your program, which is lead exposure. And there's a lot of things that people just don't know about it. So, what is lead? What are the dangers of lead exposure and lead poisoning? It's still a thing. It's 2025, but it's still a thing.
Yeah, it's very prevalent around this area too. That's what a lot of people don't really understand. Mobile has a lot of older homes and it has a lot of heavy industry. And because of that, back in the day, when lead was more prominent, we would have different industries that were using lead in construction or in paint and things like that. And until the ban in 1978 on lead paint, that's what everybody was using. And I don't know about you, James, but a lot of people I know, we can't afford to repaint and remodel and rebuild our homes from scratch just off of the whim.
Hmm.
So a lot of people are still dealing with that. Apartments, complexes, I feel like a lot of them still have that. I know it's in my clause, it's in a lot of my friends' clauses. So it's something that people need to be aware of. Lead is a naturally occurring heavy metal that it's all over the world. Um, can get into the soil, can get into the paint, the dust of the homes. It can really affect a lot of people, and our target audience is people with children, young children.
Hmm.
It can really affect from about 0 up until about 3 is our target audience there.
Yeah, like you talked about older homes and industries and things like that. Those are tangibles that people can see that, okay, maybe there's some lead paint that was used in my house, but the intangible, if they work in a certain industry, automotive industry or something, they're going to bring some of that stuff home on their clothing and it's going to be in their household. And like you mentioned, an infant or a young child, they're crawling around on the floor. They're right there in it. So it has a lot of um, terrible health effects, for pregnant women, and then children in the home. So, it's great that you're, talking about it, and we're still talking about it because it is very prevalent in our area. Um, so, with you being here as an educator, you go out and do presentations and you talk to different groups and industries. So, specifically, what are we doing as the health department to combat lead exposure?
Well, we do a lot of different things. Our main focus in outreach is to go to places that interact with parents and children directly. So we go to a lot of daycares, we go to a lot of pediatric offices. For daycares, we do pass out a lot of information and speak to parents and healthcare providers or daycare providers, I'm sorry, about how they can talk to parents, how they can bring up the subject and really just talk about, hey, this isn't something that you 100% have to deal with, but it's something you should think about. If you live in an area that has older homes, or even if the daycare itself is an older building, and if you have the kids that run around the playground, like you said, with babies running around and, kids in daycare, when they're that young, the first thing they do is they pick up something and they put it in their mouth. And so
Hmm.
we have to account for that. You can't keep an eye on the kids all the time, 100% of the time. So it's just something to make sure that the parents are aware. And for pediatric offices, we remind them of the different CDC regulations for testing, reminding people to get their elevated blood lead level test done for their kids. Um, there are Medicaid and Medicare requirements for them too. So just keeping up with not only the parents to make them aware of what they need to ask, the questions, but the pediatric offices to make sure that they're checking all their boxes too.
Yeah, and that's a good point that you bring up about the pediatric office. You don't necessarily, if you have kids, you don't necessarily have to go there just when they're ill. You can have a well child checkup visit, and that would be the time to talk to the pediatrician to maybe get all of those testing things done, not just when the kid is sick, but just do a well child checkup, and especially in those formative years, those uh, those checkups are pretty vital and important. So if somebody wants to reach out to you here at MCHD,
Mhm.
give me the information how people can reach you here at MCHD.
Yep. So my email is anwidner, WIDNER, at mchd.org. That's the best way to reach me. We are currently moving offices right now, so I don't have my phone set up per se, but my email is the best way and quickest way to reach me. I deal with a lot of different things for outreach, so if anybody has any questions regarding getting their soil tested or getting their home tested, when they need to get their blood level lead or blood lead levels tested for their children, anything related to that, they can contact me directly.
Okay, so earlier when we talked initially about this being April and Earth Day going on in this month. So the event that's taking place on April the 26th at Chickasaw, talk a little bit about what all's going on there.
All right, so it's our Earth Day e-community day. We partnered with Mobile Parks and Rec for the Love Your Community Earth Day event. Um, we are going to be, like you said, at Chickasaw Park over in 8 Mile. We have a lot of different activities for both kids and for parents, and we're also going to be doing one of the soil testing clinics, partnering with the USA or University of South Alabama Earth Sciences Department. Um, and we are going to be conducting that, I think, from 10 to 2, and that's rapid lead testing. So they get the results that same day. I don't know the time frame for it, but I know they get the results the same day. We won't have to send anything to them. So
Hmm.
they can show up, get the soil tested, participate in some of the events and some of the activities going on there, and then get the results. And we have it set up to where if they need more information based on their test, if it's testing high, then they can come to us and we can start working towards something else for them.
All right, so they should probably use a bag that has a zippered enclosure or something like that to keep the exposure down, like maybe like a Ziploc bag or something.
Mhm.
Uh, 3 or 4 teaspoonfuls or ice cream scooper size uh, samples of the soil. Zip it up, close it up, put that bag inside of another bag, maybe like a grocery bag, and then bring that down to the event. So that would ensure that there's no exposure going on in the car from the home to the event, and then the testing could take place. So that's good to know.
Yep, I would highly recommend that route of testing as well.
Okay. Well, great. Well, thank you for being, on Wellness Wednesday, and thank you for what you're doing here at MCHD, bringing awareness to this program to the community.
Thank you, James. Thank you for having me, and thank you for saying so.